Science tells us that the fear of making a mistake often stops us from even starting our most important work. Have you ever noticed that the more you try to make something perfect, the further away it seems to get? You know this exact paralysis. You sit down to write an email, and you rewrite the first sentence 20 times until it sounds just right. You have a massive dream or a business idea, but you refuse to launch it because the website isn't flawless yet. You tell yourself you have high standards. But in reality, your hard drive is a graveyard of 99% finished projects that the world will never, ever see. You are suffocating your own potential. Elian was the most talented young potter in a magical hillside village. The mayor commissioned him to create the centerpiece vase for the Grand Starlight Festival. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. It had to be absolutely flawless. He locked himself in his studio. The first vase he made was stunning. But he noticed a microscopic curve that was 1 millimeter off. He smashed it. The second was gorgeous, but the glaze was slightly uneven in the shadow. He smashed that one too. Days turned into weeks. His obsession consumed him. He stopped eating. He stopped sleeping. Every piece he made had a flaw that only he could see. The more he chased perfection, the more stiff and lifeless his art became. He lost his magic. The night before the festival arrived. Elian looked at his wheel. He had completely run out of his magical clay. He had hundreds of broken shards, and absolutely nothing to present. His dream was dead, murdered by his own impossible standards. If you are trapped in this cycle, you need to understand something critical. Perfectionism is not about having high standards. It is not about a commitment to excellence. Perfectionism is a cognitive distortion. It is a psychological shield you use to protect yourself from judgment. Your subconscious believes that if you make something flawlessly, nobody can criticize you. If it's perfect, you can't be rejected. So, by never finishing, or by destroying your work, you safely avoid the vulnerability of being seen. Perfectionism is just procrastination wearing a tuxedo. As Elian wept in his dark studio, his old mentor, Master Hayao, walked in. He looked at the mountain of shattered pottery. Without saying a word, the master walked over to the trash pile, and picked up a slightly lopsided vase that Elian had thrown away weeks ago. It is asymmetrical. It is flawed, Elian whispered in shame. Master Hayao smiled. He pulled out a small brush and a pot of glowing liquid gold. The flaw is where the magic lives, the master said. He painted the gold along a small crack in the rejected vase. The master placed the rejected, golden-scarred vase in a box and forced Elian to carry it to the festival. As they walked to the town square, Elian felt sick to his stomach. He was terrified. He was certain the mayor would banish him for submitting something so blatantly imperfect. When the mayor pulled the cloth off the vase, the entire town square went completely silent. Elian squeezed his eyes shut, waiting for the laughter. But instead, he heard a collective gasp of pure awe. The crowd didn't see the asymmetry as a mistake. They saw it as character. The golden crack told a story of survival and soul. A perfectly machine-made vase is boring. This vase felt human. It was deeply, beautifully flawed, and that is exactly why they fell in love with it. Here is the invisible truth you need to accept today: perfect is the enemy of done. A finished project with a flaw is infinitely more valuable than a perfect project that only exists inside your head. In a famous scientific study, a pottery class was divided into two groups. Group A was graded on quantity, make 50 pots. Group B was graded on quality, make one perfect pot. At the end, the highest quality pots all came from Group A. Why? Because while Group A was busy failing, learning, and making a mess, Group B sat around theorizing about perfection. To get to your best work, you have to be willing to wade through a mountain of your own garbage. You have to give yourself permission to suck. So today, publish the messy post. Launch the ugly website. Send the imperfect email. Because if you don't, you will look back in 10 years and realize that the more you tried to make something perfect, the further away it seemed to get. To break out of the perfectionist paralysis forever, watch this exact framework on how to stop overthinking in 60 seconds, right now.